especially when I get those old honky tonk guys that be like, "Hey Marcus, hey you're my favorite, bruh. Hey, I'll tell you one thing, you go in that doggone scary place, and I do."
The question is whether or not Marcus is possessed. That's not the question.
Hey there, Den of Geek fans. Aaron Sagers here, and we are at New York Comic Con, and I'm not just joined by anyone this round. I'm joined by some folks that I call friends I've known for a long time. It's, of course, the Ghost Brothers. We got Marcus, Dalen, Juwan. Thank you guys for joining me today.
Man,
it's a
thank you
pleasure
for
to
having
be
me.
here.
I
for
feel,
sure.
yeah. Ghost Brothers lights out. We got another season. We've got more episodes on the way, and there's, of course, Travel Channel is going to be getting those episodes in November in the linear format. You know, I was thinking about this. I was actually going back through some of my old emails, and it was like February or March of 2016 at the Algonquin Hotel, Destination America. Ghost Brothers premieres. There was a party in a room there. I was there. I'm proud to say that I met you guys at the beginning. Is this kind of like full circle? You're back. You're here at New York Comic Con years later. Ghost Brothers Season 2 or Lights Out Season 2. Does it feel a little bit like a full circle for you, Marcus?
I would definitely say it does. I mean, being here with you too, you know what I'm saying? You saw us from the beginning. So just to be able to do it on such a large scale now is just like humbling, one. And it's just like, wow, I feel like we belong here, you know what I'm saying? And you know, when we were first coming into the paranormal, you know, space, I didn't know if there was a place for us because there had never been a group like us. But as we've grown with the community's shown love. You know, Dalen made a comment one time. He's like, some of these people who are letting us into their homes every night watching the show probably wouldn't let folks in their homes like that until they met us. And like, now they're like, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. These are my people. I can rock with them. You know what I'm saying? They're all human. The same reactions that I would have if I was in there, especially when I get those old honky tonk guys that be like, hey, Marcus. Hey, you're my favorite, bruh. Hey, I'll tell you one thing. You go in that doggone scary place, and I do.
You almost don't know where you're going with it.
You don't know where you go, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool, yeah. But it's just good to see that genuine love, you know, come from every type of person, and especially in our, you know, today's climate, you know, everything is so. But it just feels good that we're able to do a show that has love in it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, what do you guys think about that? Like, do you feel like full circle, or if you were going to go back in time and talk to yourselves 6 years ago, what would you say? I mean, like, do you think that you're pretty much the same person? Has this journey kind of changed you a little bit?
Honestly, I think this is a full circle moment, definitely. When we first got started, one of our big goals is like, yo, I wonder if we can do Comic-Con, right? And then to know that like New York Comic-Con is the major one, and now we're here on a panel, and that is just a beautiful thing. I think also we've had countless times where we talk about like what it looks like to be representation in this space. And to like Marcus's point, like we just really appreciated how we were received. We thought we was gonna have to be on guard when we came out, just didn't know how folks were actually gonna take us. We're proud because they received us as who we are authentically. We didn't have to present to be anything else other than ourselves, and that was really important to us. And to be received like that, and for us to still be going in that same way, and for us to actually be achieving our goals here at Comic-Con, it's just a beautiful progress.
Well, kind of adding to that, Dalen, my question for you is, you know, let's face it, a lot of the audiences for paranormal shows, they seem like they are dominated by white folks. But, of course, ghost stories are not dominated by white people. There's people across cultures all across the world with different kinds of stories. How do we get to tell a little bit more of those black ghost stories, those ghost stories from people of color, and not be told by white folks? Like, how do we expand that kind of storytelling?
No, you know what? That's actually a great question, man. And the thing is that those stories are being told, but you have to watch and listen for those stories to be continued to be told on a larger scale. So white people, if you ain't watching the black episodes, then there ain't gonna be no more black stories being told. Like, we need a collective effort and understand that death is the universal equalizer. Everyone has a story. Everyone has their perspective on the afterlife in different religions, races, backgrounds, creeds. Everything is different, man, and nobody knows for sure. So take everybody's belief system, and understand that it's worth just as much as everyone else's. But you have to be open and you have to support everybody's story. The black story, the Asian story, the Native American story, you have to support and you have to listen. Support comes from everybody, not just your group.
And I think that even with us, like, us telling these stories now, it's just like, like you said, they have to just get behind it, man. Get behind and watch, and just see what we're doing and, not be afraid to see other people's perspective and, point of views. And I think that, like you said, I think what we do is we kind of wrap that up and make it entertaining. So whatever story we're telling, you're like, it's just a human story. And so now I think we're kind of like taking it to that next level where we're making all these stories human stories so everybody can know, like, everybody has a voice in this thing.
Well, that's a great point, because something I really appreciate about how you guys tell these stories is that you're able to do it with a sense of humor. There's the scary stuff, there's the spooky stuff, but you also inject a sense of humor. And a lot of the paranormal shows are not able to do that. And quite honestly, a lot of times that's like a network directive or producers that say, you may be a funny person, but we don't want you to be funny on this show. You guys are able to express humor. How has that, do you think, impacted the types of activity that you've encountered and just your overall approach to the paranormal?
It just wouldn't. The show wouldn't have worked if they would have told us you can't have the humor, because that's not our personalities. Like, we're genuinely the three type of people. If we were kidnapped in the back of a white van, blindfolded and handcuffed, somebody gonna make a joke.
He's gonna be like, "Why is your shirt off, though, Juwan? Why are you shirtless?
Are you sweating?
Are you sweating,
Marcus?
Marcus?
Are you sweating?
Are you eating? Are you eating in the back right now? Yeah. So
How did
it's
you
like,
get a snack, Mark? They can say
how
something
it
like
is.
that.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think that our humor works for our investigations. One of the things that we've been saying since season 1 is ghosts are people too. I think that humor honestly increases activity. I think that humor allows us to be comfortable during investigations. I think it's just an overall value add.
It lets our guard down. And then I do have to give a shout out to, the producers and people that we've worked with, because, all of those have been like, yeah, go ahead, lean into it. Now, the first 2 seasons, they're like, we want it more creepier. And then it was just like, nah, you know what? Be who y'all are. And then ever since, it's just really been, working amazingly. So just, letting people be themselves.
I think we had to find the balance in it, because there's moments where we have to be serious. So it's kind of like we found a way to take the investigation serious, but not necessarily take ourselves seriously, if that makes sense, right?
No, it does, because it makes it more believable, because when it's you guys just being you, and then there's that oh shit moment where it gets real or it gets creepy or serious, then you're along for the ride for that too, because there's a gear shift there.
I'm glad we're talking about that, because I feel like people misconstrue like having humor and not being serious about something.
Right.
People express like their nervousness, their anxiousness in different ways. So if we were filming and my foot was always tapping because I was nervous, would you think that I'm not taking it serious? Just because I, exert my anxiousness or my being afraid through humor, because that settles me down. You know what I mean? That helps me be okay in the moment. So I don't know. People just handle things differently. You got to be. It don't matter. It don't change nothing for you.
Yeah.
How somebody else does their job.
Right. Well, I mean, you talk to people that have been in war zones, or from journalist perspective, I've been on crime scenes. Like, there is that gallows humor. There is that, and then even just getting startled, I laugh. Like, you startle me, my first reaction is gonna chuckle, even though I'm freaked out. That is a human response. Exactly. So I like that you do that. Okay, so this season, the first 3 episodes that dropped, I know you've got Ohio State Reformatory, you went to Bobby Mackey's, and then these the Parent Family Conjuring Farmhouse. And then there's more famous locations on the way. Now, I have to say, I was fortunate before the season premiered. I saw that freaky face from Bobby Mackey's in the smoke. Yes. That seems pretty significant. What is that the most significant experience you've had thus far in this paranormal journey?
That's definitely one of them, and we call that the devil's mugshot.
Yeah, that was
that's
profile pic. That was the devil's profile.
Definitely his profile picture. Because he's using his mugshot as his profile
You're
pic
proud
he's a
of that
thug.
moment.
He's a thug at that point.
Yeah.
So it was.
I think that's probably one of the best photographic pieces of evidence we've ever captured, and it's something that all three of us were able to be a part of. It's not something like one of us went off and did and came back and brought it. We were all in the moment, so that's definitely at the top of the list for us.
Another one I would say happened at the Conjuring house. I was laying on the bed and y'all when y'all got up there and I was like, yo, the bed is shaking. And like you didn't believe, like y'all was like, nah. And Dalen was like, oh, that bed is shaking. Like I have no idea how it was moving, but it was in there like going back and forth, like vibrating. And it was really insane.
I mean, already the 3 episodes look like a really solid season on the way. As we wrap up, I'm just curious, what are some stories that you would like to tell that you haven't yet had the chance to tell? Whether it's a ghost story or something else, like you now have the platform. What are some stories that you want to tell? Dalen.
No, I think personally, we've actually been talking about this idea for a long time, man. We would love to go all over the world and speak to like people in everyday neighborhoods, like the hood. Like it'd be dope to go to the favelas in Brazil and speak to some old woman and guy there and get their perspective on the afterlife.
Right.
Or go to Egypt somewhere, go overseas, but just go to real people, not even just paranormal investigators, like just real religious, deep-rooted areas and just get their perspective on the afterlife.
Different ethnicities, different nationalities, just because we started the conversation. We want to continue the conversation. And so like that afterlife looks different for different people, or at least their belief system in it. And so like we want to be able to continue that conversation. There's no other better way to do it than touch the people.
Like the Anthony Bourdain
of paranormal.
I'm looking forward to, even like as we did Fright Club, we were able to open up like, seeing Bigfoot and aliens and different things. Now like my curiosity is sparked now. And I would love to see, all of our experiences in every different type of new medium, new, creative thing that's on earth that we don't even know about. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, I mean, the world is so big, we can just all like have a piece, you know what I'm saying? So I just really look forward to trying to just make as many great stories as we possibly can, do it with my homies, kick it and have a good time doing it. You're making people laugh while we do it, make people, really come with their family and just, sit down and chop it up with us.
We got Marcus, Juwan, and Dalen, Ghost Brothers, Lights Out, Season 2. It's happening now, Discovery Plus, and it will be coming soon to Travel Channel. Check it out. Thank you, guys.